So the topic for this evening will be how to sleep better with meditation. And today's shadows will be as follows: 15 minutes wisdom talk on meditation and sleep, and about 20 minutes guided meditation, 10 minutes on events and conclusion, and another 10 minutes for question Q&A. So we'll probably finish around about 8 o'clock as usual. First, I will introduce you a little bit to the subject the Venerable will talk about today, which is how to sleep better with meditation. Then I will introduce you to the speaker. So you may not have realized that more than 51% of adults worldwide report that they get less sleep than they need on average night. And 80% of adults say they are using weekend days to make up for sleep lost during the week. According to an annual relaxation report, the conclusions of the study are from data gathered from a global audience, including Singapore, Taiwan, Japan, Hong Kong, China, Korea, Indonesia, Malaysia, Vietnam, and United Kingdom, and also Australia as well. One way employees can set aside time to relax in to take a vacation. And the survey found that a little over half of those surveyed, 55%, took all the vacation days available to them in the last year, with the UK respondents at the top of the list, 76%, and the Japanese at the bottom was 28%. Of those who did not use of their vacations days, the top reasons are they had too much work to get done, about 38%. They couldn't find a good time to take off, about 34%. There was a lack of support at work to take time off, about 25%. And when using their vacation days, 75% of those who are employed, they take off to catch up on sleep, 7 days on average per year. But even when they want to sleep, about 35 to 50% of adults worldwide regularly experience sleep disturbance. For many people, sleeping difficulty is related to stress. That's because stress can cause anxiety and tension, making it hard to fall asleep. Surprisingly, technology has also contributed largely to modern sleep problems. Mindless screen and technology use are negatively associated with solid sleep. The biggest question is, how do we combat or cure sleep disturbances in a modern world? And as well, we will hear today, meditation may offer some solutions in this respect. So our teaching note today will be Venerable Dr. Nicholas Thanissaro is a Buddhist monk of 25 years standing with 30 years of meditation experience. He's a UK Complementary Medical Association qualified teacher of meditation, affiliated with the Dhammakaya Foundation. He is also qualified as a school teacher and MBI practitioner. As a scholar practitioner, during his time as Associate Fellow at the University of Warwick, he published widely in peer-reviewed journals on the formation of Buddhist identity in teenagers, and continues to research to the appeal of meditation in the West. He currently lectures in Living Buddhism and Religious Individualization at Clemens School of Theology, California, and Willamette University, Oregon. I also heard that the Venerable has just been made a senior fellow at Bishop Grosset University in Lincoln. Congratulations, which will allow him to continue his meditation research in an official capacity. So this evening, before we meet our teaching monk, I would like everyone to pay respect to our teaching monk by bowing 3 times. Bow, bow, and bow.
So welcome everyone to the Saturday evening DMEU Zoom program. And today, I don't know if you are tuning in today because you have particular problems with sleep, or whether you like every subject which is available. But what I hope to talk about today is about how meditation can help with some of the sleep problems which Natalie mentioned. And part of the problem with not being able to fall asleep so easily is apparently that we are very much more in our head the whole time. So if we are able to come away from that more to the heart or to the mind, then maybe it will help us to be able to sleep more easily. And meditation, of course, is relaxing for the mind, but it's also relaxing for the body and the brain, and it helps to reduce the distracting thoughts that keep your mind buzzing like a hamster wheel instead of allowing you to go to sleep. The other thing is that meditation's been shown to improve the quality of the sleep that you do get and efficiency of sleep, especially about how long it takes you to go to sleep and how long you can stay awake during the day. A third thing is that meditation helps to lower the heart rate by igniting the parasympathetic nervous system and encourages slower breathing, thereby increasing the prospect of a quality night's sleep. And last but not least, the more you practice sleep meditation, the more likely you are to be able to build a quiet and a restful mind that allows you to sleep with ease. So this is what we've heard about meditation, and I know that there are so many apps out there these days, which I am pretty sure that most of their members are people who just want to listen to it to get to sleep more easily. So it's certainly a lot of demand out there. From our own tradition, we have something called 10 items of homework, which allows people to connect with their mindfulness and their meditation at 10 particular parts of the day. And a couple of these are to do directly with our sleeping habits. So the first piece of advice from these 10 items of homework is that before you go to sleep, then you should try to recollect all the good deeds you've done throughout the day. So it's like if you fall asleep at that time, then it's like you go out on a good note. Second item of good meditation homework that will help you to sleep is very important. Don't overlook it. Is that you should make sure that you bring your mind actually into the center as you fall asleep. According to the theory of meditation, actually this should happen anyway. You cannot get to sleep unless your mind comes to the center of your body. But if you make the effort to actually bring your mind to the center of the body intentionally, then it will mean that the mind doesn't have quite so far to go in order to allow you to drop off to sleep. So making your mind centered is particularly efficient as a way to fall asleep easily. So having filled your mind with all the good deeds you've done during the day, then bring your mind to your center. And hopefully, even when you wake up again in the morning, you won't wake up feeling like you don't know where you are, or in a panic, or feeling that you need more sleep afterwards. So as I mentioned earlier, mostly the part of meditation that is particularly effective for working with problems that lead us to insomnia is the loving kindness part of meditation. And according to the traditional Buddhist scriptures, loving kindness has 3 main benefits for those who practice it. So basically taking what we've built up in our meditation and allowing it to spread first for ourselves and then wider to all the sentient beings around us in ever widening circles. So there are 11, I think, in all. So the first of these is that one sleeps better, wakes feeling at ease, and has no bad dreams in between. The fourth one is that we are endearing to other human beings. So other people find it hard to be angry with us, if you happen to be one of those sorts of people. And even the non-humans are nice to us. They aren't threatening to us either. So you can go on a walk on a trail and even the snakes will be nice to you. Oh, you got 10, I'm afraid. Okay, so yes, one is watched over by celestial beings. So those of you who believe in such things, maybe the celestial beings will help to find you the parking spaces whenever you are going around the parking lot. You are safe from fire and poison and weapons and other sorts of untoward things that might happen to you. When you come to do your normal meditation, which is mostly about focusing, then if you're someone who regularly practices loving kindness meditation, then you'll find your mind is quicker to focus as well. You tend to have a more radiant complexion. This is probably part of the benefits of not being an angry person generally. And even in the last moments of your life, if you are someone who practices meditation regularly, then you will not pass away with a confused mind, which if you understand the transitions between life and death according to the Buddhist theories, then it's particularly important to have a clear mind when one is passing away, to have a good death, in other words. For those who are new to meditation, I'm not sure many of you are, but probably worth a try anyway. If you enjoyed the meditation today, and today's meditation was about a half an hour long, I would remind you and encourage you to try to meditate every day if you can. Don't just wait for a Saturday evening Zoom, but try to do meditation on your own, starting out with at least 20 minutes of meditation. And if you can manage to do that, keep it as a regular part of your daily life, then little by little, you will have the confidence and the enthusiasm to extend the length of time. But it's good to have a minimum length of time to start off with, pace yourself first, and then you can move on to slightly more ambitious lengths of time. Some people like to meditate first thing in the morning. Some people like to meditate last thing at night. Some people who have a stressful job like to meditate in their lunch break. It doesn't really matter what time of day you choose to meditate, as long as you have the energy, because we wouldn't want you falling asleep during the meditation, even though falling asleep might be the subject for tonight's talk. Some of you may be familiar with the method of meditation following the center of the body that we have practiced today. But on the MindGem app, which you can download on iOS or Android for free, there are now hundreds of audio tracks which lead meditation, and you can even set them with a timer as well to mark out the time for yourself as you are meditating. So all your favorite monks are in there, I'm sure. In our center in London, we usually have Tuesday and Thursday evening classes, which may not sound very exciting for you if you live in another country, but they are mostly broadcast as well on YouTube at the very least, and sometimes Facebook as well. However, during the month of August, we have taken a break from those classes because of the residential activities that we're running for the youngsters who are on their school vacation. And of course, we have this one, which continues every Saturday, 7 p.m. on British time and 8 p.m. on European time. Our next weekend meditation retreat coming up in London, and it probably will be in the actual temple itself, is between the 16th to 18th of September. 8 precepts starting on the Friday night, ending up on the Sunday afternoon, for anyone who is interested to go a little bit deeper into their meditation practice. And as you heard earlier, we have just had our youngsters, boys this time, reporting in for their novice ordination, which will be 2 weeks long. So you see some of their activities over the next 2 weeks. And for the ladies, there will be a combined activity for probably the Thai ladies for their weekend training, 26th to 28th of August, up to the age of 75, it says there, in Thai probably. And for the youngsters who generally are less good in Thai, we will have a separate room where they have a little bit more activities suitable to their age group, and they can have the equivalent of training as the boys have done the training with ordaining as a novice without losing their hair, of course. Also in Woking, we have a almsgiving in Jubilee Square coming up on the 13th of August. For any of you who are aficionados of large almsgiving ceremonies, you know what a food bank is? Yeah, well, America has it. Britain has it. It's like a place where people who need to can go and pick up supplies when instead of suffering from poverty. And this time we are collecting food. The monks will go around with their bowls collecting the food, and then the food will be donated to the food bank. So everyone is happy by this activity. And we have an open day coming up on Sunday, the 14th of August, where people who are new to the temple in London can have a chance to see what goes on behind the scenes as well. So I finish off with a quick little story. It is a story about someone who liked to spread loving kindness. And it said that there was an old monk. In fact, it wasn't really a monk because this was like pre-Buddhist times. He was like an ascetic who lived in the forest somewhere. But he was someone who was very keen on this practice of spreading loving kindness. And I'm sure he had no problems at all having a good night's sleep. But every day he would sit and spread loving kindness. And one day he would spread loving kindness in like a beam outwards in front of him. Other days he would spread it like a beam behind him. On another day he might spread it to his left, a big beam of loving kindness going out to the left, sometimes out to the right, sometimes above, sometimes below. But one way or another, he would always spread his loving kindness. And the strange thing about his loving kindness, which was extremely powerful, was that all the animals in the forest treated him with respect and never threatened him. Not only that, as a result of the sort of vibes from his loving kindness, even animals that normally hunted each other gave up their hunting activities and became friends to one another because of the power of the loving kindness. It's also said that all the tendrils, tendrils are of the plants, where a new plant grows and as a fresh bud comes out, sometimes they're little sort of spirally shapes. The tendrils would always be in the clockwise direction, which is auspicious according to Buddhist tradition. And many years later, this hermit was called Kapila. In fact, aeons later, actually from all the vibes of the loving kindness didn't disappear anywhere, but they actually led the place to be such an auspicious place that it was the place where a city was built much later on, many aeons later, and that was actually the place where the Buddha grew up as well. So Kapila Vastu is the place there. It's been prepared long in advance by someone spreading loving kindness in that general area to the point that it was a very auspicious place indeed. So that is a little story to finish off with for today, but I do believe we have a little bit of time left over in case Natalie would like to return to us for any questions you might have at this point.
Anyone have any question to ask young people this evening? Hi, Terence. And welcome, Claudia from from Sao Paulo. Mm-hmm. So it's quite, yes.
Yeah.
Welcome to our Zoom.
Yes.
And Kristen, have any questions? Hi, Kristen. Lovely. It's quite a few of us joining afterwards as well. And Gavramatakan as well. So if there isn't any question, I do have a few questions to ask please, if any advice for how to get children to sleep better?
Yeah, this is probably quite a poignant question at this time. A lot of children have problems getting to sleep anyway, for various reasons, but since the pandemic has been particularly severe, and I know certainly in schools I've been in, the teachers feel there's a real need to teach meditation to children so that they do have the ability to manage their own mind and be able to take downtime for themselves and to rest and relax. So yes, if they need to sleep, I normally recommend that they meditate and spread loving kindness, of course. But the length of time that would be suitable for a child would probably be a lot shorter than for an adult. And the rule of thumb I normally use is take the age of the child and multiply that by the number of minutes. And you'll get 10 minutes for a 10-year-old child, that sort of thing. Just before they go to bed, that would normally be a good way to sort of get them to quieten down before they actually go to bed. Yes.
And another one, is it possible for us to do loving kindness at the beginning of the meditation rather than at the end? Because sometimes we do it at the end of the meditation instead.
Yeah, it may sound a little bit like it doesn't make sense at all. You need to have something first before you can spread it for the benefit of others. Logically, you'd put your loving kindness at the end of the meditation practice. But some people who already have a lot to spread, a lot to share with others, may find that they like to spread loving kindness right from the very beginning of the practice. And that sort of clears the ground, clears the space for the meditation, even before they start to do a practice where they're focusing. So actually, it's doesn't make a real difference. And if you might try it for yourself, see if that helps you. A lot of people find that this is useful to clear the way for their meditation ahead as part of the preparation for their meditation. So although it may sound a bit strange, actually it does work quite well for some people.
So there is no fixed rule whether you could do it from the beginning or later on after?
No, there's no fixed rule. Sometimes we tend to think we need to get ourselves right first before we help others. And this is mostly the Theravada or the orthodox way of Buddhists looking at the world, where you have to sort yourself out first before you can sort out other people. But there is also the Mahayana way of Buddhism, which says that only by serving others do you discover yourself. So it's like by sharing more, you discover who you really are. So in a way, it's not a contradiction, no.
Last but not least, so what if your problem is not falling asleep, or sleeping is cannot fall asleep, but you're sleeping too much even though while you're meditating? What should we do with that?
Yes, this probably would be the subject of a different talk. Probably one on overcoming the hindrance of sleepiness. So if your problem is that you fall asleep, then you need to adjust the way you place your mind in your meditation in order to make sure you are a little bit less lethargic in the way you approach your meditation. And there are different ways of doing this, but an example of a few ways to overcome that sleepiness might be, let's say, to use your mantra to wake yourself up, or to think of more brightness, or to sit in a bright place to meditate, or to get enough sleep before you meditate, or maybe to pull your ears to wake yourself up, or pinch yourself, or perhaps to do walking meditation in between sessions of sitting meditation. All of these are suggestions which are used, again, traditionally to overcome sleepiness, where sleepiness is not what you're looking for, but what you are trying to avoid.
I've seen Ashley said something. So yeah, Ashley said I do this and it stopped in my mind, and I am able to go to the mind center very quickly, so I'm not wrong. Thank you. I was wondering that if that wrong. No, you're absolutely fine, Ashley. Sounds good, Jacob. Is anyone would like to add any more question at all? It's been just a great honor to have repeat this evening, Jacob. And so hope to see everyone next week on the next Saturday, same time with Lunky Sander, I believe, the next week. I always get it wrong with the timetables. Yeah, I believe this next week is Lunky Sander. And before we go, shall we pay respect to our teaching month by bowing 3 times? Bow, bow, bow.
So may you all be well and happy and enjoy a good night's sleep, and now and forevermore.
Saturday.